right, good morning to you, everybody. My name is Lana Harris. This is the First Alert Desk. I am here with your top stories of the day. I hope your day's off to a really good start so far. If you are watching on Atlanta News First Facebook page, as always, I can see your comments. Feel free to shout me out, say hello. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can put that in there as well. Again, this is just if you are watching on the Atlanta News First Facebook page, I'll be able to see your comments, and I'd love to talk to you about some of the stuff that's going on. A lot that's going on. First story here is about a case that is really taking turns I don't think anybody saw coming. Okay, has to do with the police officer that's been charged in connection with concealing a 16-year-old girl's death. The officer apparently lived near the girl's home. Investigators say they lived within a mile of each other, okay? They both lived in Norcross. So here is video, or photos rather, from a neighbor that show the officer's patrol car being towed Monday. Here he is on your screen. It's the day that Gwinnett County Police arrested 22-year-old Miles Bryant, who had been a Doraville police officer for about a year and a half. Okay, it was also the day of the funeral for 16-year-old Susanna Morales. She was missing for 6 months before her remains were found. Now, Bryant has not been charged with the girl's murder, but in the arrest warrant application, investigators indicated that they suspect Bryant of murder and rape, adding, quote, "The accused lives in close proximity to the victim and dumped her naked body in the woods." Awful, awful, awful way to die, presumably. Now, the officer's neighbor also said that she took video showing detectives combing through the officer's personal car. He is now in jail without bond in Gwinnett County. Now, in court yesterday, the former officer, only spoke when he had to answer a yes or no question, but we could learn more details in his preliminary hearing, which is expected to happen in a couple of weeks. Now, here again is that 16-year-old Susanna Morales on your screen. Her family had not given up hope looking for her. Everybody was hoping that she would be found safely. You may remember there were those videos where she was last seen walking down a street. She was just going home from a friend's house, and she was never seen again, disappeared. And to think that there is an officer that's now charged in connection with concealing her death, my God, it's just so awful. And I'm sure it gave the family some closure that they had been looking for, but we'll just be following this story to see where it goes. Of course, nobody's guilty until, proven so, but just the developments on this case, absolutely awful. Okay, Michael Baxter, hello to you and good morning. Good morning to you as well. Wesley, checking in from Ackworth, Georgia. Love Ackworth, Georgia. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about our next story. This one is also sad. I'm sure you guys have heard about the mass shooting that was in Michigan State University. Unbelievable story. Police are still trying to figure out a motive for why a 43-year-old man would go to a campus he had no affiliation with, wasn't a student, didn't have a student there, wasn't a teacher, faculty, anything, and commit that heinous, heinous crime. We have learned that one of the victims is the niece of an Atlanta reality star, Delicious. You may know her. Here are the victims that died. Now, her niece is Ariel Anderson over there on your right. Tragically, she posted to Instagram first saying that her niece was in the same classroom, in the same building as the active shooter. She hadn't heard from her, and she was asking if anybody knew where she was to contact her. And then sadly, later, Delicious did confirm that she is one of the 3 students who died. She was a junior there. Her name is Ariel Anderson. She was aspiring pediatrician. And then we had sophomore Brian Fraser, who is the president of his fraternity, and junior Alexandria Verner. She was a talented athlete, and unfortunately they were also killed. We also now know the 5 other victims who were critically injured are also students. So we've got some video for you if you hadn't seen it. We also now know more about the suspect, okay? We knew he was 43 years old. His name is Anthony McCrae. He began this rampage at Berkey Hall, which is an academic building, and police say that he killed 2 people and injured other students there, and then went to the student union and killed another person there, and then killed himself as police were closing in. Now, what's more chilling here? Authorities say he may have been planning more attacks. They found a 2-page note in his pocket that referenced 2 schools in that area. It mentioned past shootings, and a source told CNN the note said that there were others like him to incite violence at other schools. Now, of course, there are vigils that have been planned, and there are counselors there to provide support for students, and classes have been canceled for the week. But I'll tell you, at all of the sound that we've been getting from students there say they want change. They want something to be done about this gun violence problem that our nation seems to have, so that nobody else is in this position where they're running and hiding in their place of worship or school or grocery or wherever it may be. Those students were saying we want action here. So it's a sentiment that's a lot of people have right now, honestly. It's kind of renewed talks about gun control. How much is too much? How much do we need? That kind of thing. You probably fall somewhere on a spectrum of needing more, not wanting it to go too far. So we'll continue to follow this story as well, but just a sad, really, really sad story. Now this one is not sad, but it is certainly a talker, okay? This is a new bill that is being proposed from a group of Georgia state senators. All right, so the proposed Parents and Children Protection Act could prevent schools from teaching lessons about topics like gender identity without a parent's written consent. So not everybody is okay with this. As state lawmakers draft up this bill, activists are sounding off. They are really concerned with this bill. So it's Senate Bill 88, and it would prevent schools from teaching kids up to the age of 16 about things like gender identities other than their biological sex without that written consent. The bill also says it would prevent a teacher from teaching a student if they are dressed too provocatively at school. Now, a group of parents and activists spoke right after a hearing on the bill, and they say the law would promote censorship in schools. But the people who are sponsoring this bill say, hey, this is about protection. I'll let you hear it from them.
People to make sure that this is simply a bill that gives some protections and allows people in charge to know what is being taught to their children.
SB 88 would therefore hinder my child's ability to learn by causing doubt and confusion in teachers, support staff, administration as to how to address my child, despite our family's clear decision to recognize who Ryan is.
Now, if a school were to violate this bill, it would mean that the government can cut funding to that school. Now, lawmakers are going to have more hearings on this in the near future to give people more opportunities to speak out as this bill is being reworked. So if you'd like to voice your opinion on that, that'll be happening. We'll, of course, keep you updated. It's a good reason to have that Atlanta News First app. We'll send some push alerts as there are updates, and you'll get that straight to your phone. Now, this story is just wild. I've never seen anything like it. Absolutely insane. A woman attacked her own attorney in court. So let me just pull up the video for you first. And you can see it first. She's kind of just sitting there, calm, cool, collected. And then, yeah, just attacks a lawyer. There's the officer trying to restrain her, telling her to stop. I mean, for what? I don't know. So that's Taylor Shabusiness. Happened out of nowhere, happened during a proceeding to determine whether Shabusiness is fit to stand trial. After this attack, the attorney told the judge he would be filing a motion to withdraw from the case, as one might imagine. Yeah, I wouldn't want to work on that case anymore either. But Shabusiness is accused of killing and mutilating her boyfriend. She has pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, and her trial has now been pushed back to May 15th. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely insane. Okay, well that does it for me. I appreciate you tuning in. We are gonna have another update, of course, at 11 o'clock. Can we talk about the weather yesterday? The weather yesterday was absolutely amazing. It was sunny, it was beautiful. Look at this right now. Oof, yeah, what's that, Midtown? Looks like the camera from our building. I always joke, yeah, we're looking at you from the bushes, because it looks like we're looking at you from the bushes. But that is a roof cam. We're going to have Courtney Jacobazzi giving us a weather update in just a couple of seconds. But it's going to be rainy today. There's going to be storms tomorrow. Okay, Courtney's back. I can stop pretending to be a meteorologist.
Sorry, I grabbed the wrong clicker. And I was like, oh, that's not going to help.
Okay, you guys can see she walked away, and I said, huh, cool. Meteorologist
She's
Lana
gone.
Harris.
Right. First alert meteorologist Lana Harris here with the weather for you.
Do not trust that one.
Oh my goodness, you did a really good job guessing the clouds today, though.
Thank you.
I don't know
Thank
if you
you.
got it right. I don't think you did, but you were, you sounded like you knew what you were talking
A shelf
about.
cloud. I thought it was a
Right.
shelf. Well, isn't that when there's a shelf of clouds like over
No, okay,
What is
so I'll explain. So a shelf cloud is when you have like a cold front come through.
Okay.
And so you see the leading edge of the cold front on the shelf cloud. You have all of the warm air like rising up against it. Kind of looks like a spaceship sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, those spaceship-y looking clouds?
So it has nothing to do with the fact that the clouds look like a shelf, which
No.
is what I was saying.
Right.
Well, that's
those,
embarrassing.
Those are called stratus clouds that look like a
Okay.
little shelf, little blanket.
Okay.
You know? So
Yeah.
right now, those are actually, well, it's overcast, but that's a form of stratiform cloud cover. So anyway.
Look at that. Science and meteorology.
There it is, coming together. All righty. All right, well, it's not the most beautiful afternoon out there. Good morning, Wesley. Good morning, Michael. Hello. Yes, wonderful. Okay, yes, my microphone is on and ready to rock and roll. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We have changes in the forecast really starting today. Today's kind of our transition day from the beautiful and warm and really nice afternoons to more gloomy and rainy and stormy ones. Now, don't get me wrong, we will have the chance to see some peaks of sunshine over the next couple of days, but definitely going to notice a handful of changes. We do have a first alert for tomorrow and Friday because of a cold front that will move through tomorrow after sunset for the most part into Friday morning. So we're going to time that out for you. We've got lots to cover with all these changes on the way and talk about, most importantly, we're getting closer and closer to the weekend, how that front is going to impact your weekend because it's going to be, spoiler alert, quite cold, at least for Saturday. So let's get into it. Good morning, everyone. As always, let me know where you're watching from. Would love to, if you're able to comment where you're watching, depending on what streaming service, I guess that would be dependent on if you can comment or not. But let me know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions about the forecast, feel free to drop them in the comments if you're able to do so. All right, otherwise, good morning. Here's a look at what we're expecting tomorrow. We're going to start with this because this is kind of the big story because we do have the first alert. So for the morning, it's going to be a mild start. Temperatures will be near 60. It's going to be actually pretty comfortable out there. Maybe still a light jacket though. For the afternoon, warm and mostly cloudy. So again, we will have the opportunity to see peaks of sunshine tomorrow, but clouds will be the more dominant factor. And then for the evening, primarily past sunset, heavy rain will roll in along with the chance for some isolated thunderstorms, maybe an isolated strong to severe storm as well, but that threat does look pretty minimal for us. Here's a look at the big picture. This is our setup for our next couple of days. We have a very large weather system, the center of it, the parent low, all the way up towards the Great Lakes. The cold front is extending down into the southeast, bringing us the cloud cover and some showers. Also notice, you see that little red line there? That's a warm front. And so right now we have warm air surging in underneath warm fronts. Just like behind cold fronts, you get cold air. Behind warm fronts, you get warm air. So right now we're primarily under the influence of that warm front. So that's why our temperatures are going to be warmer today. And then notice all the way out towards Denver, out towards Colorado, out towards New Mexico. You see that second low and some of the snow around that? That is the weather system that's going to quickly traverse across not the Great Lakes, across the plains into the Ohio River Valley and then ultimately into the southeast and bring us the potential for rain and storms as we head into tomorrow. Right now, again, we have that cold front kind of draped over, and that is bringing us clouds and rain, just light rain for the most part, especially if you live in the metro, so places like Atlanta and all the way out into Carroll County. If you're in Rockdale County, you're seeing some rain. DeKalb County, Cherokee County, Cobb County, Bartow County, southern Bartow County at least, seeing some rain. So overall, a pretty wet afternoon, or I always say afternoon, it's the morning still. It feels like my afternoon because I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. But either way, wet morning out there, unsettled morning. Here's a look at the temperatures across most of the lower 48. So notice they're in the 70s along the Gulf Coast. We're in the mid-50s, 60s in Charleston and Tuscaloosa and Nashville. But then look all the way out towards Wichita, Kansas, Des Moines, Iowa, Denver, Colorado, 12 in Denver, 36 in Wichita, 29 in Des Moines. That's the cold air that's going to spill in behind our front and ultimately arrive as we head into the start of the weekend. Or really, I should say by Friday afternoon. It'll be significantly cooler, but the really cold air will be on the way Saturday. So here's a look at temperatures right now. If you're north of Atlanta, you're a little cooler. You're at 48 in Canton, 47 in Gainesville. That's some of that rain-cooled air. 52 in Monroe, 53 in Carrollton, and 59 in Noonan. So Locust Grove, while you're in the low 50s, if you're south of Atlanta today, because you're going to maybe see a better opportunity for more peaks of sunshine, also that southerly wind that's coming in, you're getting a lot of that warm air pumped in. So just like they're in the 70s along the Gulf Coast, if you're south of Atlanta, because you're not going to see as much rain today, because you might see some peaks of sunshine, and just because of that southerly wind, you'll more than likely end up a few degrees warmer. Notice up towards Ellijay, Canton, Gainesville, they're in the mid-50s this afternoon, while Atlanta's in the mid-60s. So that rain definitely going to keep places north of Atlanta a little cooler today. Not heavy by any stretch of the imagination. All the rain's going to be pretty light, but as you're heading home from or picking up the kids from school, if you're north of Atlanta, expect a chance for a few showers. So hopefully you sent the kids to school with the raincoat this morning, just in case. As you're heading home from work a little later today, again, spotty showers mainly north of Atlanta, so that shouldn't impact your travel too much. And then as we head into the late evening is when we're going to be watching for our cold front, which I'll time out for you coming up here in just a second. Overnight lows, again, 50s near 60 in some spots, so overall it's going to be a pretty mild morning. Here's a look at what our storm outlook is for Thursday. So this is along that cold front I'm talking about, where we could have rain, maybe an isolated severe storm. So on a level of 1 to 5, we have far northwest Georgia under a level 2 threat. I still think that our threat is extremely isolated. I think that the main threat is going to be damaging wind gusts, so any severe storms, we're talking 60-mile-per-hour winds, and any stronger storms, which I think is what most of us will experience between really 8 o'clock and midnight, 40 to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible in stronger storms. Heavy rain, a lot of us are going to experience as this rolls through. And the wind will pick up just naturally as a cold front moves through. But thankfully, because of the timing of this, we're going to lose some of that energy. So you might notice that orange color on the far top left of your screen there. That is a level 3 threat. Now that's because the cold front is moving through places like Mississippi and Alabama during the heat of the day. So not only is there going to be the wind shear factor there, there's also going to be the high energy factor. And when you get the heat of the day to allow storms to form, that's when they become really explosive. So very spring-like system, because temperatures, again, going to be in the 70s tomorrow. So as that front moves through during the heat of the day, that's just going to be prime time for severe weather. Thankfully for us, it comes through later in the day, so we won't have to worry about having quite as much energy. We'll still have enough for maybe a few storms, and again, maybe an isolated severe storm, but for the most part, we're talking heavy rain and some breezy conditions as the front moves through. So again, tomorrow near 70. Guys, it's going to be warm tomorrow. And you're also going to notice that humidity. The humidity will pick up slightly tomorrow because wind is going to rush in. I wanted to say surge, but then I went with rush. Surge in from the south. And that's going to pull in a little more moisture, so expect mostly cloudy skies. But notice you will see peaks of sunshine here. As we head into 7 o'clock, the line of storms becomes more broken. What we're going to be looking for, you might notice that kind of cellular feature just to the left of Calhoun there, so to the west of Calhoun. We'll be looking for those little cells. We call them supercells when they take advantage of any kind of wind shear or energy left in the atmosphere. And at 7 o'clock, we will still have energy because the sun isn't going to have set quite yet at this point. So again, I think we're really going to be focusing in far northwest Georgia, so up towards the Calhoun and Rome area, for maybe a strong to severe storm. As we head towards 7, again, if you're a late commuter tomorrow, you might run into some rain. Here's 10 o'clock on Thursday. So while a lot of us are probably getting ready to go to bed or already asleep, heavy rain rolling in, leading edge of the front now south of Atlanta. We're going to have a second line of storms roll in. So you're going to have the line ahead of the front, and then you're going to have the physical front roll in through the overnight Friday. So we have a leading edge of storms, and then we have the physical front move in later in the evening. Now at this point, we've already had rain roll through. We're in the overnight hours, so temperatures are cooling. So I think that first round of rain and storms is going to essentially stabilize us. A lot of times that robs our atmosphere of any kind of energy, and then it's really hard for any kind of severe weather and thunderstorm activity to ramp back up. Don't get me wrong, I think we could still have an isolated rumble of thunder through the overnight hours, but I think our severe threat should come to an end after midnight, because that leading edge of that front is going to ultimately help take our instability and any kind of fuel for storms out of the way, and then we'll be left with, again, maybe some gusty wind and heavier rain, but I think our severe threat should come to an end through the overnight hours, because that first leading edge is ultimately going to rob our atmosphere of any kind of severe elements. So as we head towards 7 o'clock in the morning, the front is clearing, temperatures are cooling. Notice in Thomaston, so over in Upson County, Upson, Lamar, Butts County, you guys are still going to be in the mid to upper 50s. Meanwhile, that cold air is already spilling in north of the city. So we'll be at 47 in Calhoun, but you'll be near 60 down in Thomaston as that wind shifts direction. Notice that little arrow in the top left. That's the wind direction. When it changes out of the north, from the south to the north, that's the sign that the front has passed and that colder air is ultimately going to spill in. So take a look at this. Thursday, I thought I moved that around. It just didn't save. That's fine. Thursday, we're going to be in the 70s. We go into the 50s by Friday afternoon, so a 20-degree drop in temperatures from Thursday to Friday. And then here's the lows. So Friday morning, we're going to wake up in the 40s, highs again only in the 50s. So really, temperatures are going to stay pretty stagnant through the day. Because of the timing of that front, our overnight low temperature will probably be a little later than usual, and then our temperatures aren't going to be allowed to climb very much in the afternoon. And then that cold air, as skies clear, so we don't have the clouds to trap in any of the heat, as skies clear and that cold air settles in, we're going to wake up below freezing Saturday morning. A lot of us will wake up in the 20s Saturday, so you're going to want to have the coat. And then as we head into Sunday, we'll be a little warmer, don't get me wrong, still definitely very cold Sunday morning in the mid-30s. And as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week, we're going to go right back into that warmer feel. So don't forget to download the First Alert Weather app, that QR code in the top of your screen there. That'll take you there. It's really important, especially with the chance for maybe some severe weather. You'll want to know when rain is rolling into your area. The app will alert you of that if you turn on the alerts. So today, again, showers mainly north of Atlanta after we get done with this little round of rain for the morning hours. Storms late Thursday, maybe an isolated severe storm, especially if you're in far northwest Georgia. And then as we head into Friday, we'll keep that chance for rain mainly before sunrise. By 7, 8 o'clock, the rain is pushing out. So for your morning commute, it should be dry, but it's going to be significantly colder on Friday with temperatures only in the low 50s. We wake up Saturday freezing in the low 30s with highs only in the low 50s. And then take a look at this. Temperatures rebound right back into the 60s as we head into the start of next week. The upper 60s, I should say, will be at 68 on Monday, 70 on Tuesday, with a small chance for showers on Tuesday as well. So Ella was saying it, the pollen count has been really high. We're definitely getting into more of that spring-like feel, both temperature-wise and pollen-wise. Hopefully some of this rain will help clear some of that out and lower our pollen count a little bit. But in the meantime, enjoy the day today, even though it is a little gloomy out there. Again, we could see some peaks of sunshine through the day today, but clouds will be more dominant. And then we'll watch for the potential for severe weather tomorrow night, very low-end threat for us. What a lot of us will just notice is the heavier rain, and you'll definitely notice the pickup of wind. And then we'll be a lot colder on Friday ahead of a dry but nice weekend. I mean, low 50s is chilly, but it is still February after all. That's a little bit below average, but not by much. And then 61 on Sunday. It's going to be stunning on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, low humidity, low 60s. It'll be beautiful. So stay dry today, everybody. Enjoy your day. We're almost to the end of the week and looking ahead to a great weekend. I know last weekend was a little bit dreary. So this weekend you'll be able to get out and go do as you please. And again, download the First Alert Weather app. It'll be great to have with the rain and potentially some storms rolling through as we head into tomorrow night and Friday morning. Especially when it's an overnight threat like that, it's extra important to have a way to receive weather warnings just in case we do get any severe weather. So be sure to download that and make sure you turn on the notifications as well. I hope you make it a wonderful Wednesday, everyone, and we'll catch you here next time.